good afternoon. I'm working my way through a question in David H. Lloyd's Physics Laboratory Manual, 2nd edition. It asks, what percentage of your values of L fall in the range of L bar plus sigma L and L bar minus sigma L? So what I'm going to do first is enter the data from the table in a way that I think works on all TI graphing calculators, which is you turn it on, and what do? We go into, I'm not going to use on the TI-83 you can use stat edit, but I'm not going to do that here because it doesn't work on all TI graphing calculators. Instead, I'm just going to start out by hitting second curly bracket, and then I'm just going to enter the numbers. He has 0.3341, which is an extraordinary, this is to the 10th of a millimeter here, how far he's going out. This is 0.3341 meters, or 33.41 centimeters. So that's a very accurate measurement that he's getting there. Then I put a comma, 0.2865, comma, 0.3620. And I'm not going to make you watch me type in all of these. And now I realize I was entering the wrong numbers anyway. Okay, these are the actual numbers that they have in there. It should be 10 samples, or 10 measurements. I'll just hit second and the right curly bracket, and I can hit store then, and I'm going to put this in L1, or I can spell it alpha L. Well, that didn't work. Let's see. Backspace delete. Okay, alpha L right there, and then the number 1, and then that should go into list 1. On this calculator, I can actually check stat edit, and it should have gone into L1, but it did not. Okay, my mistake. If I want it to go into that particular thing, maybe I need to do this. Let me hit second enter. On all the TI calculators, you can use second enter to get that back. So I'm going to delete that, and then just hit second L1, and then check the stat edit. Okay, now you can see that list in there. But I think it'll still access it with the other one. The L1 is different from L subscript 1 apparently. But let's verify that. If I type in alpha L1, what happens? It says 0. Okay, this is okay, now I remember. TI-83s and maybe TI-84s only have 26 variables. There's you can't do multiple characters. So let's say I've said alpha. Instead of doing that, let me do this. Second enter. You can keep doing second enter until you get back what you want. I'm going to delete that and just put this into the to the variable L, which is can't see it right there, I believe. Yeah, into L. And then I will say alpha L, JKL. There's L. And oh shoot, it still didn't work. So it's not going to work that way, I guess. I'm sorry. But anyway, you can still use L1 here. So what I'm going to do then, vars, or not vars, I'm going to use stat, and then calc, and then the one variable statistics. I think on the TI-89, this is available somewhere under the math menu, which is under second 5. So if I do one variable statistics, it will show me all of these things about that quantity. It gives me S sub x, which is our standard deviation, our sample standard deviation. And then if I want to get the the standard error, I can do this. Vars statistics, which is 5, S sub x, which is 3, divided by, and I want to take it divided by the square root, which is right here, the square root of the sample size, which is also under vars statistics, and it would be listed as N1. And then I can enter, and that gives me the standard error. Okay, but that was not what the question was. The question was, what percentage of your values of L fall in the range between L, the mean plus the sigma, and the mean minus the sigma? So let's find the mean plus the sigma. I'll go into vars, statistics. The mean is x bar right here, 2. Minus sigma is going to be vars, statistics, s sub x, and there's the mean minus the standard deviation. And if I want the mean plus standard deviation, I can do this, plus. Okay, so we've got these two numbers here, 1.3712 and 1.3718. And I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to sort the list, which is a list function. So I'm going to hit second stat, which gives me the list function. And it looks like actually L is in there. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And L1 is in there. So actually I can access those lists that I just created through L and L1. I thought they had disappeared completely. But for now I'm going to be doing a sort descending. Sort descending on say second L1, and I believe it will just operate in place. And then I can look at that list 1 by typing second L1, and it will give me those lists, but they're sorted descending. Is it giving me every 1.3717, 1.3716, 1.3715? I sorted it descending. But you can see which ones, how many of those are between 1.3712 and 1.3718. Might be easier to see if I go into list mode, which is stat edit. Now I can see those numbers in order, sorted descending, and I can count how many of them are between those two numbers, which unfortunately I didn't write down. It will probably benefit greatly by using a piece of paper to write down little things that you find out during this process. And you can find out what percentage of those are between the two numbers. If your data is distributed normally, then about 68% or 70% of the data should be between negative sigma and positive sigma, and 95% of the data should occur between minus 2 sigma, or two standard deviations below the mean and 2 standard deviations above the mean, and 99.7% of your data should occur between 3 standard deviations below the mean and 3 standard deviations above the mean. On the calculator, I can find those standard deviations, 3 standard deviations above the mean, for instance, by saying vars x bar plus vars statistics s sub x is 3, and then I would multiply by whatever factor is there, times 3 for 3 standard deviations above the mean. And why did it say undefined? Because it doesn't like the word plus. Plus s sub x. Maybe it's because when I did that sort, let's do second, we'll do stat calc, one variable statistics again, and that'll fill in the data again. And then second, enter to get back to our x bar plus s sub x times 3. Okay, now it gave me 1 plus, the mean plus 3 times the standard deviation, so that worked that time. So I think that method, or something like that method, should work on any TI calculator, or TI graphing calculator.